Let's get right into it. Look at this carefully. The headline says 18 more federal agencies making the pestilence 19 inoculation religious objector lists. Do you know what that means, my friends? In common language, right now, they have 18 more federal agencies who have now established a list. And who comprise that list? Well, friends, the religious objectors to the pestilence 19 inoculation. Are your names on that list? And what is the purpose for these lists from the federal government? Now notice this point carefully. It said 18 more federal agencies. Why 18 more? Notice what this says, friends. I covered this, I believe, 2 Sabbaths ago. The headline reads, Biden administration quietly creates creepy database about those who are not inoculated and who request religious exemptions. There it is, my friends. Clear for those who want to see it. Watchdog warns Biden administration looks to be creating a database of Americans who ask for religious exemption. There it is, my friends. You could read Biden administration making lists of religious inoculation objectors. And you could pause the video and take a look at this agency. Now, this was the Pretrial Services Agency for the District of Columbia. All right? And that's the confirmation right there. All right, friends. Now, notice. Here we have the headline. Breaking news now. 18 more. Let's read the paragraph. This week, we revealed that an obscure federal agency plans to keep lists of the personal religious information. Employees who had religious objections to the federal employee inoculation mandate. As it turns out, the little-known Pretrial Services Agency for Washington, D.C. isn't the only federal agency involved. As we feared, a whole of government effort looks to be underway. What does that mean? Take a look at this, my friends. The list includes the DOJ, Department of Justice, the Department of Health and Human Services, the Department of Transportation, and the Department of the Treasury, just to name a few. The agencies plan to collect religious affiliation, the reasons and support given for religious accommodation requests. I'll come back to that. Names, contact information, date of birth, aliases, home address, contact information, and other identifying information. These lists will be shared between federal agencies. Now, brothers and sisters, now watch carefully. They are going to collect what? Red words in the middle? Religious affiliation and the reasons and support given for religious accommodation requests. What did you put on your letter that you submitted? Bible and Spirit of Prophecy? Will they know who God's remnant people are, the faithful that is? There's so much I could say right there. I will digress. Look at this right here, friends. The notices do not explain how long they plan on storing this data, why they need to share it between agencies, or why they need to keep it beyond the decision to grant or deny an employee's religious accommodation request. Now, we know the reason why. Because they're presently establishing and further fortifying the modern day papal inquisition, which will begin in America, the modern U.S. Inquisition. All right, friends. Here is a response from Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt. He writes, a part of what he wrote states, the chilling effect on a citizen's exercise of religion due to the creation of this database is what? Alarming. Pause right there. Because the cynics of this ministry love to say, I'm making things up to get views. I'm a mere alarmist. Well, the events show the events are alarming. Others are stating the fact. Let's continue. Red word, the federal government decrees that a citizen who seeks a medical exemption or a waiver based on a sincerely held religious belief has automatically consented to being entered in the database. That's what they're actually saying. To put it plainly, invoking the legal right to exercise one's religious faith risks simultaneously waiving that legal right. Brothers and sisters, can we see what's coming here? America is presently preparing to speak as a dragon, brothers and sisters. The stage is set. And now as we take a look at the ancient papal inquisition, we can see exactly what the United States of America is presently doing. Just look at this, my friends. It's history. The very existence of this people, holding the faith of the ancient church, was a constant testimony to Rome's apostasy and therefore excited the most bitter hatred and persecution. Their refusal to surrender the scriptures was also an offense that Rome could not tolerate. As a result, inquisitors were put on their track. Then was launched the Papal Inquisition. That's it, brothers and sisters. America is doing the same today. Why? Because this remnant, this small group of people, refuse to give up, abjure their Bible-believing principles of faith. All right. And look at this statement. These individuals excuse themselves from papal doctrine and papal worship. And what happened to them? At one time, a whole family was brought before the inquisitors. Why? Charged with remaining away from Mass and worshiping at home. You could read the rest of that. Last sentence, the father and son were burnt to the stake, burnt at the stake. Is it coming again, my friends? All right, the Papal Inquisition. Why? Because these individuals refuse to give up Protestantism, refuse to give up liberty of conscience. As a result, we have to prosecute and persecute them. And what is America establishing, friends? It's clear, right? All right, look at this now. There it is. The Inquisition, says Popery, was a mistake but legally justified. Vatican official claims. All right. Red words underlined. You can read that. And that board is still intact today. Brothers and sisters, I have a special interview for you tomorrow. Just stay tuned for that by God's grace. All right. Remember, I've been busy for the past several days. Let's get back the momentum here by God's grace, friends. It's all about preparation. In the book 1 Corinthians, I'm going to segue. In the book 1 Corinthians, chapter 4 and verse number 9, the Bible tells us that God's people are made a spectacle to the world. Yes, to angels, to men. In your Bible, that word spectacle means a theater. Yes, friends, drama. In this drama, there are eternal consequences. Everlasting life, if we're on the right side, or everlasting damnation, if we're on the side of the villain. And what are we told in volume 7, page 141? The last act in the drama is Sunday worship by law. Are we nearing that last act, my friends? Yes. And what are we based on 1 Corinthians? Chapter 4 and verse 9, a spectacle. And how will the church and state apostate leaders respond and react to God's commandment-keeping people, God's Sabbath-keeping people, we're going to be prosecuted, persecuted. Some are going to be martyred. Fundamentals of Christian education, page 289, when we reach the standard that God would have us reach, worldlings will regard Seventh-day Adventists as odd, singular, straight-laced extremists. Last sentence, we are made a spectacle unto the world. What a connection there. And to angels, and to men. It's coming, friends. Are we prepared? The drama. Are we prepared?